This bloody sock is why you shouldn't leave boards with nails around, sticking with the nails upright in long grass. Here we have, well, some blood-stained socks. It involves an incident with me stepping on a nail while mowing. Now, I've in the past bought, I think it was more than one brand name of stain remover, and it wasn't labeled as a detergent. It was labeled as a stain remover, but it was packaged like any other detergent. And I noticed if you put it on sweat stains and various stains, it would sometimes foam a little bit. So I got another bottle of stain remover, tried it on some of my clothes, and it wasn't exactly the same. It was obviously a different brand name. But nonetheless, I didn't notice it in stores, the brand names of stain remover that I had before. So I am going to go with this. There we go. This looks like the bottle. OxyClean. It's liquid laundry soap and stain fighter and booster. Brighter and whiter, but doesn't contain Clorox bleach though. It's a detergent, and while it didn't foam up on certain stains like the previous stuff did, so I was gonna resist using it on my socks, but these have been sitting around for way too long, and actually the stain might be set now simply just by setting around for so long. But I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see if these socks can be restored to their white condition, and really even if they're stained they're still usable, but I'm going to give the stain remover a try. This is an inside-out look at the sock that was on my foot and was injured at the time. It's a little different looking on the inside. There's still blood all over the place in there, but let's see. It's just a shadow there. Yeah, the stain is a little bit different on the inside. Well, that has set for quite a long time, so it might be no removing that stain. I'm not really worried about the stain, though. I'm just going to clean the sock, and if it has a stain on it, well, then that's just a sock with a stained bottom. That's perfectly fine. But I'm going to see how well this works. I'm going to mainly focus on removing the stain from the outside, though. This is another sock that I wore immediately afterwards, and some blood leaked through the bandage. So here we have two socks that I'm going to dose up with stain remover. Of course, I'm filling the washing machine with cold water. There's one last look at that stain before I add detergent to it. I'm going to put detergent right on the stain itself. That's a stain removal detergent. Now, the thing is, I could whip up a mixture of hydrogen peroxide and some other stuff that you'll see recipes of on the internet for removing stains. But I'm just going to try this stuff. Detergent added directly to the stain. Filling the washing machine with cold water. I'm not going to fill it, it's going to put it to the smallest setting. I mean, I could scrub this by hand, but I'm going to do some other stuff. This is just purely a test to see how this turns out. So the washing machine is going to be filled to the smallest amount of water that it'll fill with. This is one side of the stain. This is the inside of the sock. So this was the part where I was bleeding and it was exposed to. Now if I were to turn this inside out, let's just grab this here, and this is what the stain looks like after it came out through and was spread around with the bottom of the shoe. Yeah, so it was actually just a tiny little point where the blood was leaking through the band-aid. But I'll just put a little bit of, I'll just pour a little bit of stuff directly onto that. Just a tiny bit, that's probably more than I needed. I'll just spread that around a bit, and we'll see what comes of this later on. Most of the stains on this sock are just a little bit of dirt that didn't come out. That might be part of the blood stain right there, but if it is, there wasn't a blood stain on the heel, so this isn't too bad. This is the one that was stained the worst. There's still a bit of a stain here. It's Besides mostly just a little bit of dirt that didn't come out of the sock. But the actual blood stain right there. The blood stain did stay. It's pretty faint. I mean, you can tell the sock is stained. If I didn't know it was a blood stain, I wouldn't really know what it was. I mean, I guess people are used to seeing blood stains, might not be too surprised, but there it is. That's actually pretty good, especially considering how long these socks had been setting around with that blood stain in it. So it was set probably pretty well. So I'd say that's an improvement. It's possible the stain might even fade the next time these are washed. I'd say that did pretty good.